With today's technological advances and fast-paced life, BMS is your trusted next-generation IT solutions provider that keeps you ahead of the competition. From humble beginnings, BMS Company is now one of the fastest-growing software engineering service providers, with international presence and golden reputation for excellence. The BMS Company is your one-stop global destination for web development, mobile application development, digital marketing, SEO, Facebook and Google advertising, social media management, business consulting, printing services, and many more. BMS is trusted to provide timely, cost-effective solutions. At BMS, we believe in providing guaranteed results, irrespective of a project's complexity. No stories, no excuses. And core to all of our operation is that we practice what we preach, and we deliver what we promise. We're proud of our dream team of solution-driven enthusiasts comprising of industry experts in various fields, including blockchain, IoT, and AI. Our unique makeup and cooperate synergy enables BMS to add heart to technology while delivering our trademark exceptional results for our esteemed customers. Get free 3 months of hosting and 30 days SEO when you partner with us today. Call us now on 469-992-4567. or visit our website at thebmscompany.com.
Hey, what up, what up? This your boy Gabriel Willer, and I'm locked in with my bro, Mr. Ferman Jackson Jr. on Walking His Ways and Impact Voice. Loved your show, bro. Keep it going.
You are now listening to the most talked about blog talk radio station in the universe. Walking His Ways, Impact Voice Radio. Be prepared to have your mind stimulated, your spirit elevated in ways you couldn't even imagine. Introducing your host and the mastermind behind this unforgettable experience, Ferman Jackson Jr. You will not be disappointed. Let's go!
Good evening, everyone. Welcome to another edition of Walking This Ways Impact Voice Podcast. I'm your host, Ferman Jackson Jr., broadcasting live from the city of Arlington, Texas, Dallas, Texas, Fort Worth, Texas, all surrounding areas here in the great state of Texas. I'm your host, Ferman Jackson Jr. I thank everybody once again for tuning in, inviting us into your home, wherever we may be located at, for an awesome interview with an up-and-coming artist. I had him on the show before, and he came back to the show again. What I love about him, he's very consistent in his skills. He's very consistent in his career. And I say this all the time, consistency is the key. You have to be consistent in everything you do. You can't be sometime and you can't be one time, and you have to go all the way through. Even Paul said it, I have to press. So a lot of times we don't want to press our way through things. We want to do things when it's feeling good, I'm feeling joyful. But it's going to be a time when you don't feel like doing it. It's going to be a time when you don't feel like getting up. It's going to be a time when you don't feel like all kind of stuff, man. But I'm very excited about having an up-and-coming R&B artist. Like I said, you heard of many great singers before our time. You had the Marvin Gayes of the world. You had the Sam Cookes of the world. You had the Smokey Robinsons of the world. We had many great, iconic singers in our time, in our generation. And these guys paved the way for my artists out here tonight. So I just want to welcome TRU. I am True. Brandon, I want to welcome you once again to the podcast. And I know you're a busy man. Let us know what's been going on with you since last time I spoke with you.
Man, it's been a great year. I've been doing music all my life, but as far as me doing solo music, I'm going into the second year of me doing solo music. And for me to just be starting off and kind of getting a groove on that aspect of music, I think it's been great. I still have a lot to learn. I still have a lot I want to learn. So yeah, everything's going good. I have an opportunity to perform at a few things, and I've had the opportunity to come across a few people and meet, rub elbows with a few people that I really think will help me to get to where I need to go.
Yeah, and most definitely, because we know that a lot of the greats that I mentioned before started from somewhere. A lot of them have
Mm-hmm.
backgrounds within the church. A lot of them
Yeah.
have backgrounds within, back in the days, say glee clubs and things of that nature.
Mm-hmm.
But they became iconic figures. And I
Yeah.
know that you had that same vision in mind to be an iconic figure in the music industry, to
Mm-hmm.
make great music that it could touch the hearts of people, penetrate the hearts of people. Well, whatever move they going into, and I know you mentioned before and refresh my memory that you want to bring back that old school type feel when it comes back to R&B music.
R&B. Yeah. I guess more with the storytelling. It's about heartbreak, and love and different things like that. I don't want to always, be tied to doing, the regular now, which is a lot of people making music about, if it's sex or money or drugs. That's pretty much all you have in some form of fashion. Like some of the female artists, still talk about heartbreak and love and stuff like that, but we don't really have too many male artists that are doing that. So I for sure want to do that. And I shout out to Young Blue. He's one artist that does that. As far as like talking about love and heartbreak. So I do appreciate him for doing that. It just be time for certain things.
Oh yeah, and most definitely. And I
And you
know,
did mention, and I see you did mention about church. Like that's where I got my background from. So I will always use that as a kind of stepping stool. That'd be my foundation as far as like church. It ain't no greater feeling. When you mentioned about iconic, uh, the best feeling for me as an artist, I think when I think about that, will be when people reach out to me and tell me that something they heard in my music, touched their soul. Um, I've had people do that, and that makes me feel amazing to hear people actually say that it touched them in a certain way.
and that's important. And I know, like I said, I know you want to bring back that sound of music. And, like I said, big shout out to Young Blue who's doing that. Back in the
Mm-hmm.
day, back in the early days, it was about when men sung, they sung their song to that one woman. I know we had
Mm-hmm.
songs about the struggle, especially within the black community. And them
Yeah.
songs was some considered a prophetic tool for us to awaken us. But most
Mm-hmm.
importantly, having that love when you chase it up that one woman, that's all you want to be with was that woman that want to
Mm-hmm.
grow old and gray with until death do us part. And I know you mentioned that earlier that we don't have that no more. But
Mm-hmm.
going back to that type of sound, I know a lot of time in this generation, a lot of that stuff don't get shown a lot. We have more women, and no offense to women, shaking their asses. I just want to say that,
Yeah. Yeah.
and that's what people are drawn to. But more
Mm-hmm.
to you being a gentleman, loving this woman, it don't get played. And in my opinion, why is that?
Uh, like you said, I guess it's the way things are set up now. Um, it probably would if people wasn't start playing it and actually be making music like that. I don't think people would be objected against it. It's because, but it would be kind of hard for them to kind of take on to it, I guess, in the beginning because they're not used to it. Um, a lot of the older ones are used to it. A lot of the older ones, that listen to that type of music and the real R&B heads, they're like, oh man, I love R&B. They appreciate it, but hip hop is so dominant. It's dominating so widely now. It'll be hard to kind of to touch people. But I mean, I want to say it'd be hard. It just take the right people, I guess, to do it.
Yeah, most definitely. And I know I got a couple of questions. I know we chopping it up. My
Mm-hmm.
question to you is, who inspired you to make music? We know we all had somebody to strike that fire in us.
Mm-hmm.
But who inspired you to get in music? I know it's just something you probably just used or God just walked into. But was it somebody in your family, someone you
Yeah.
looked up to that got you inspired to do music?
I guess you can say I kind of walked into it. I ain't had no choice to kind of get away from my mother. Um, she was a musician. She'd been a musician at church for years, and so I was used to getting up Sunday mornings and having to go to church to sit with her. And I literally be sitting with her on the organ or piano or wherever she be at. And that's kind of how I got introduced to it so up close and personal because I'm right there, on the side of it with her. So that would be somebody that would be the person that I would say, introduced me to it. Because without that, I probably would have been introduced to it, but I wouldn't have fallen in love with it at such a young age like I did.
Oh yeah, man, most definitely. And my next question: how would you describe the music that you typically create?
Uh, Atmospheric. I like to call it atmospheric music. Real, like a vibe. I like to kind of create music where you can get in a car, if you're going through something, you get in a car late nights and you can just ride and drive and you just kind of like meditate. It's feel good music.
And
From the music to the vocals to the notes, I've really tried, like even now, I'm still kind of trying to create and experiment with so many different sounds to where um, they're real easy on the ears.
okay, cool.
And
That's
that's what I'm really going for.
oh man, that's cool. That was up. And that sound like that late night sound. You had that
Mm-hmm.
music back in the day where you just get in your car and just ride.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying? It's
yeah.
just something about that feeling.
It's something
Um,
about that feeling.
when you had that feeling as you being a musician, how do you feel when you had that feeling of that late night drive where I just put a song on and I'm just out of here?
Well, me, like music just does something for me as a whole. All genres of it. Like today, mostly early today, I was listening to a lot of gospel. I've been listening to gospel like today, and uh, every genre in some form or fashion does gives me something, gives me some kind of motivation to how I want to create more and more music. I can literally, from the notes to the chords, I'm real big on chords. I love chords and certain chords in music, and I can hear a certain chord, and I literally probably would tear up. Like I'm in love with music that much to the point to where I hear something, I'll be like, man, that made me emotional, and I'll be like thinking to myself, should I be getting this emotional about it though? And so it be weird moments sometimes for me. Sometimes I'll be kind of like, all right, but like that ain't really nothing you should have got emotional about. But I just really feel so deep about it that I'm so serious about it to the point to where I'm glad that it does have that effect.
Man, that's what's up right there. My next question is,
Mm-hmm.
who would you most likely like to collab with?
Neo,
Why Neo?
songwriting, his songwriting. Uh, a lot of the way I try to write my music is I listen and study to a lot of his music. You know, storytelling. I'm real big on really trying to tell a story. If you're talking about heartbreak and love, kind of paint that picture and paint that story so people when they listening to it, they kind of see, oh, that's what they was going through, or that's what happened. That they kind of following you. It's like a map. You know what I'm saying? They following you on the road. So Neo will probably be one of the top people I absolutely have to like work with in some form or fashion.
Man, that's what's up. So that's the music that you're doing. So you in the category you could say of the Neos, the music soul child. So you consider yourself in that type genre of music.
Uh, yeah, I guess as far as the songwriting, but why I say if I would say as far as like the arrangements and the music, I probably would say, excuse me, kind of like the weekend when the weekend first came out.
Yeah, okay.
Um, and I like pop music as well, so I am gonna do a little dibbing and dab and reggae. I'm gonna do a little dibbing and dabbing in some pop tracks and some reggae tracks as well. So um, those are some things I'm going to experiment with.
Man, that's what's up right there. My next question is, if you could go open a show for any artist, who would it be?
I can pick just one. It gotta be just one.
How many you want to go with? How many you want to go with, my bro?
Let me see. I like to open up for Drake.
Okay.
The Weeknd, of course. I like to open up for Chris Brown. Let me see. I'm gonna choose one last one. One last person. He's not alive anymore, but I would have loved to open up for somebody like Michael Jackson. That would have been like
the king of pop.
Yeah, like I probably would have had like put like some dancing and everything for that show.
I know, man. They said with Mike, people man, think about with Mike, he was so special that people would cry when they see him in person. Like he was just that iconic godlike figure that
people passed out. They passed out. Yeah.
I mean, just think about how powerful that is, that when people see you in person, they're able to cry, they're able to pass. That's powerful.
Yeah.
I have to say that's very powerful.
It's kind of scary too, though, at the same time.
You really?
Because think about it, like if somebody's not God and they walk on the earth and they that powerful, it's kind of scary when you think about it at the same time. Like,
yeah, that is. And but also though, and also I know you got to think about the crazy fans too, that will literally try to kidnap you.
Yeah.
Get your personal information, stalking you. So
I'm pretty sure Mike probably had fans that would like really probably attempt to do that. Like he probably had fans that had organizations like secret meetings underground about Michael Jackson, like type stuff. Like he had like real cult fan base.
Yeah, and I noticed that when you're in that limelight, I think in that limelight, if you go out in public, they would have to actually shut the stores down for you. Because I know it was on one of the documentaries that when Mike Jackson was at the mall somewhere, they actually shut that whole store down.
Yeah, they shut the whole store down.
He shot by himself. And I know some people say it's a blessing, a curse. You in the limelight, just living that lifestyle, but at the same time being careful, being cautious. So we know we in this world now that everybody records everything.
Yeah.
So we got phones now. And I know back then they didn't have stuff. You didn't know what they were doing back in the day. But now people have phones now. They have all this technology now where they can record everything you're doing and put it on social media, invading your privacy. So I know it's kind of a big thing. But I'm going to ask you this question too. I know a lot of time male artists, makes videos. They always have a celeb leading lady in the music video. So let's say you made a video. Who would be your leading lady?
Megan Good.
Megan Good? What Megan
Good? You ain't got to finish the question, man. Megan Good. And she divorced now too? Yeah. I might need to go ahead. Yeah, I might need to go ahead and try to get that set up.
Hey, she's available. Hey.
She's available, yeah.
Yup. Hey, she's a shot. She's available.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna next another question.
Okay, go ahead.
No, you go ahead.
I mean, she's probably about the only person I really could think about like that for real. Like if I can just spit out one person, I think she's about the only one I think of.
Okay, cool. And my next question is, what is the one message would you give to your fans?
What's the one who?
What would be that one message that you would give to your fans?
That one message?
Yeah, that you give to your fans.
Man, move around. In the music business, you have to move around and rub elbows with as many people as possible. And don't be afraid to do that though. I know a lot of people, everybody wants to be that hometown hero. So that stops people a lot of times from wanting to branch out and go to other places and meet other people because they want to be that hometown hero. They want to do everything from home.
Right.
So I mean, my biggest thing, yeah, to tell people was just move around, because that's one of my biggest things what I strive in. Like if it's California, if it's Canada, if it's Russia, if I got an opportunity, I'm gonna hop on it.
Oh yeah, most definitely. I know a lot of people always branch out, and I know you mentioned about relocating before,
Mm-hmm.
according to your career and stuff like that. So, what would be your set destination for your career in any place in the world, and why?
It would be Atlanta.
Okay.
It'd be Atlanta because I mean, it's for Black people and for Black music. It's just a place to really be for that aspect. Everybody is kind of cohesively working together so much. Uh, if you have that ambition and drive and that gift, it won't be that hard for you to kind of, you know what I'm saying, meet the right people that you need to meet.
Awesome. And then my next question: how do you feel the internet has impacted the music business?
The internet makes the music business now. Like I think without the internet, a lot of artists we have now, we probably wouldn't even have them.
But you also think that hurt shot in the long run, because you have apps now where people can actually download y'all music for free now. So you actually think that hurt
Yeah,
y'all in the long run?
I think it does to an extent, but like in the music business now, you can make money. You can make so much money in so many different ways. Like back then, they relied on those type of things. You know what I'm saying? Because it wasn't so many other different ways that you could make money doing music. It wasn't like they got like now they got NFTs coming out and all this other different stuff. Like it's always something a new idea that's coming out to kind of help you make money some kind of way, you know what I'm saying, or form of fashion. So I think now how it is now, no.
Okay.
Uh, because people still going, I mean, because they still look at those anyway. They still look at those as units. They still look at those as numbers, so, because ain't nobody really buying music and they still talk about it. Like, oh, so and so has 100 billion streams, but 100 billion people ain't buying it.
Mm.
Like,
So,
probably out of those 100 billion people, maybe if half of that actually bought their music, you know what I'm
right,
saying? So,
right. And we know
mm-hmm,
that people don't do CDs no more. It's all, like you said, live streaming now.
mm-hmm,
You have Apple Music, you have Spotify. I think
mm-hmm.
iHeart. I mean, I know you
Yeah,
done
I
some.
heard.
I know you did a performance at one of the iHeart events. How was that experience for you?
Man, I think that was like probably one of the, so but this past year probably, well, last year, that was probably one of the dopest experiences, because it's funny how I even got that uh offset with Migos. Him and iHeart, they partnered up sometime, I think at the beginning, around when the pandemic first started. They partnered up and started something called the Access um New Artist series.
Okay.
And a friend of mine that stayed in Atlanta had went to one of those, was there at one of those concerts backstage, and I seen it, and I was like, oh man, that'd be dope. I could try to get on. Blah blah blah. Fast forward a couple months later, I seen a post on Instagram, and I tell people this too. I research a lot. I get on the internet, I get on Instagram, Facebook, whatever, and I'm looking at events, I'm looking at showcases, I'm looking at conferences, I'm looking at everything I can find or think about that I need to be at to help me with music.
Yeah.
So
Go ahead.
I yeah, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
I came across a post asking about artists for it, and I ended up submitting actually was my latest single, Tell Me Why. I ended up submitting that, and I hadn't heard anything in months. I had forgot all about it. And I had finally received an email about it to come down. So in my head, I'm thinking, I'm like, oh man, like out of all the people that I know probably submitted for this, I actually got chosen.
Hmm.
And so you go down there, you walk in the room, they know you by name and everything. You walk through the door, they got a section for you, they passing the water, they treating you like you're a star. You like, I'm a nobody, you know what I'm saying? Like, but they really made you feel like, you know what I'm saying? That's why I say Atlanta would be my choice, because they really made you feel like you are, somebody.
And that's what's up. And I know that people, they already know you even before you enter in. Because, you know, people do background now. They got their access to your social media account.
Mm-hmm.
So that plays role. So they already know who you are even before you
Yeah.
step into the place. So in the midst of that networking, that's what I love about you is I follow you on via Facebook, how consistent that you are
Mm-hmm.
with your craft. You don't
Yeah.
stop. You constantly grinding. That's what I love about you. Being an
Mm-hmm.
example to others. I know I've seen some people, and I see some cats who start one thing, fall off. Start one thing, fall off. And this ain't for the weak at heart. This is so. If you passionate about something, if you driven about something, you gonna put in the work, no matter what time of day,
Mm-hmm.
whatever. And you're constantly grinding. So, what keeps you
Mm-hmm.
grounded? What keeps you moving in the direction that you're going now, and that you inspire others to do as well?
Um, I pray a lot. I actually do. I actually meditate and think about it, like uh, think about it so much. This past, I mean, it's been times where, I felt like, am I really, good enough, or can I really do this, or I really felt out of whack. Like, man, I don't even want to do this no more. But then I had to like kind of snap out of it. Like, no, bro. I mean, come on, like, snap out of it. Get back to work. Keep going and keep going. And it's like you said, it's not an easy thing. I think this is one of the hardest things you probably can do. Trying to pursue music. An actual career with music. It's one of the hardest things I think you can do because there's so many ups and downs. One day you'll be like, I'm gonna go to the studio, oh, I got a hit, I got a song, and the next day you literally probably thinking about quitting. Like you literally thinking about just giving up completely. So um I just pray a lot, I meditate a lot. I keep myself active, I always come sit in this room right here. I turn the lights off and I got like a little special little blue light I turn on and I just play tracks and listen to music and I just meditate and meditate. And that kind of helps me to keep going because once I hear something, I'm like, I want to create something. I want to create music. So I come here all the time and I just sit here and I just write songs all the time. And I might not even be trying to release them or even doing anything with them, but I'm always writing something.
And that's what's up, right? So I respect your consistency because you constantly put in the work. So let me ask you this: how is in your particular life? How is your life?
Mm-hmm.
How is the day of your life from sunrise to sundown? I know being an artist, you constantly busy. So what time you start your day and what time you end your day?
I start my day at 6 in the morning.
Okay.
And sometimes I don't end it till 12 the following the night. And then have to be right back up again at 6. Because I also co-host a podcast. I'm also a musician. I'm a drummer, so I play drums at church, and so I do a lot of different things throughout the week. That a lot of times I really don't even get no. I don't even get no rest for real, unless it's maybe Friday or Saturday, like a full day or just rest. That's probably the only time. Like from Sunday all the way to Thursday, like I'm only getting like 3 hours of sleep a day, probably.
Yeah, I mean, just imagine after a while when you really gonna be busy, living out of
You see what I'm saying?
suitcases and
But
living
I
in the
think that's
studio.
but music, me doing music, like I've been in a band and we'll be out of town and we have to travel back and we'll get back in town 30 minutes before I gotta be at church. So there's no sleep, you know what I'm saying? We're on the road all night. So that's why I say it's crazy how my life has been set up. My life literally has been set up in a way to where it has prepared me for what my future is going to look like.
Awesome. And I'm gonna ask you this: do you implement dieting and working out in your music career? 'Cause I know with you being on stage, we know endurance is
Mm-hmm.
important. So do you implement that in your work as well with your diet and working out? 'Cause I know I talked to some artists and they implement that in their work because of them being on stage and performing and stuff like that.
No. I don't do it. I don't do it. Like I started it at one point when I was in the band. When I first joined the band, shout out to my cousin Yo Jones. When I got in the band with her, I originally started off as a background singer. So I was on stage with her dancing and moving. And so we would work out a lot and we would like do that because we had to at that point. But it's been a while since I really like, and I keep telling myself like now I'm in the stage now to where I'm trying to cut out certain foods. I'm trying to start dieting a little better. I'm considering taking up yoga classes so I can get my ligaments and my all that different stuff stretched and just feel better for the stage. And because I know how I know how to dance a little bit as well. So those are some things that I'm going to start incorporating as my shows get bigger and the stages get bigger. So yes, I haven't, but I definitely am going to start doing things like that. And yoga is going to be one of the first things I'm going to try to take up.
And also, 'cause I know I had talked to artists before, and I asked them, they said they have, to keep themselves going. And they did say it's kind of hard because you're always on the road, but they try to make that part of their daily routine, of course. And my next question is, which famous musician do you admire?
Another one that's not here anymore, Prince. Probably one of the best ones that, yeah, he played like, how many instruments he played was, I can't even remember the exact number, but it was so many different instruments that he played. And so that would probably be, yeah, him. I admire Sheila E. as well because she plays a lot as well.
Let me ask you this. Do you think we ever going to go back to that style of genre of music that our parents, grandparents grew up on in 2022?
I don't think so because
Unless you one of them old heads.
huh?
Unless you one of them old heads that know about
Yeah, unless you want to because the music is never gonna go anywhere. We're always gonna hear it because like even if people don't listen to it, you literally can't. They literally still putting all that music in movies and commercials and all that stuff like that. So you never gonna stop hearing about it. But I don't know if it's gonna go back to because then everybody was so different and so complex in their own way. Like that's since on the subject of Prince, like the man wore the big boots and the shirts, the see-through shirts, and all that. He was real flamboyant.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like I don't think we're ever gonna have another artist that's like flamboyant like that. You know what I'm saying? Like Michael Jackson with the high pants and the socks and the glove, he had a signature. That was his signature. I don't think we're ever gonna have an artist again that has a signature thing. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
That's who they are.
Right, and it like you said, it's who they are, and they were great businessmen too as well.
Yeah.
Behind the scenes, and they believe in getting all your money because they were very big on that too. So as you being an artist, you gonna stay independent or you gonna go with a label? How you gonna go about that? 'Cause I know a lot of people going the independent route because they want to have full control and full access of their music. Because I know you want to get royalties on your music.
It's either or, and a lot of people say they want to be independent, but a lot of people don't understand how hard it is when you are independent. Everything that you have to do on your own. If you want to be independent, then you need to know how to be a businessman. Like a lot of people I see say they want to be independent, they don't know how to do. They're not business people. They just want to be independent because they hear dollar sign and think, okay, I can keep all my money. But you got to know how to run yourself, your brand as a business if you're going to be independent. That's what a label comes in and that's what a label does for you. So
I know the internet. I know a lot of times with the age of the internet, becoming so lazy. Back in the day, when you hit the streets back in the day. When you selling CDs, tapes, you was out there in the streets, literally. Sun up, sun down, sit out the trunk of your car. And I know that people don't do that no more. I know you still got some of the old head that probably do it, but it's not popular because people don't want to put in the footwork no more. Everybody said, well, we got social media now, I'm good. But what about getting back into the streets, getting people faces, introducing yourself to people, just put in the groundwork. And I don't see a lot of cats doing that today. They so comfortable with just being behind social media that they okay, I'm good. But the real work is promoting.
Well, I do run into a couple of guys they still do their gas station every now and then, still with the CDs and stuff. But the thing about it, like okay, that's cool, but like we all know, CDs are pretty much extinct. So it's really pointless. And I think the reason for that, for the people not wanting to put in the footwork, is because social media made it that way. Like if we didn't have social media, people still do that. Yeah. But because we have social media, it kind of made, I won't say made people lazy, but it made us all lazy. It did. Like social media made us like, I'm just going, it's like it's pros and cons to social media. Pros and cons. You gotta just kind of go with the flow. Like you still can move around, but you still can move around, but you don't have to do it with a CDs. You can move around, and you can have something which you as an artist, like even flyers or a little package, or you can have something like that. You don't have to get people CDs. You can just kind of move around and kind of explain people, network about who you are as an artist. Like go to these different cities and go to these different events and do it there. It's really no need for you still to get in the streets and do it no more, because people it's pointless.
And my next question is, what do you see in the next 5 years for your music career?
The next 5 years, I see private jets, me on a private jet, my shoes off with champagne and eating grapes. But nah, I see I just see I see growth. I see ultimately growth. I want to be I want to be full time doing what I love to do. Awesome. Every second, every day. Even if it's doing stuff like this, like I enjoy even interviews. Like I'm gonna be that kind of artist that I just enjoy the art of music so much. Anything dealing with it, I want to be a part of.
Right. And I know a lot of artists such as Rick Ross, Jay-Z, they always dropping knowledge. Master P, of course, always dropping knowledge about the business world. They always come with their own philosophy and inspirational quotes. So would you be doing more of that with the interviewers and also with your podcast, that it would like
Yeah, I mean, the more I learn, I guess I won't have a problem with, cause shout out to I don't know if you know PBU Pluto. He's making a name for himself, and he's from Mobile, and he still does that. He comes to the city, and he's a phone call away. You know what I'm saying, from talking to people and kind of helping them and figure out to where they need to go. And he's independent, and he's becoming successful being independent. So, yeah, I mean, I don't really see a problem with it, but at the same time, I don't want to. I'm gonna want to just focus on myself for a while first. I'm gonna want to build myself up before I just kind of come back out and just like, let me just make sure I get everybody else the helping hand, because like I don't want to, like I know people in the industry, and I tell people that all the time. I know people in the industry, but I'm not going to go to them and ask for anything. Right. I'd rather work and let you see how I work and keep putting it in your face to the point to where you feel like, okay, I can come to this guy and I have an opportunity for you. Do you want to hop on it?
Right.
That's the kind of person I am. I never want to be the kind of person that go up to people, managers or producers or anything, or any kind of artist, and be like, hey man, can you I just can't stand that.
I respect that setup where you want to let your work speak for itself.
I want I just want to put in the work, and I want everybody else to be okay with that. Like I don't want nobody to make it and feel like they're obligated to do that for people. Now it's okay to do. I don't got nothing against it, but I don't want nobody to feel obligated like they have to do it.
Right. I understand. I respect that, because putting in the work, staying dedicated, eventually it's gonna catch somebody's attention. Because the thing about it is, you never know who's watching you. You never know who you're inspiring, because somebody always watching you. So, and by you putting the work that inspires them, and then also putting in the work, getting with the right people, all it takes is one opportunity to change your life.
Yeah.
And that's what it's all about. So I know you're doing shows and stuff, you're doing other things. So what's next for this upcoming year for you? Any new music in the works? I know you have a single out now that's being played nationwide. Congratulations on that also.
Yeah, thank you.
So what other stuff you got going on right now?
coming up, well, I'm actually gonna be releasing 2 new singles in February. And February 19th, I'll be going to Los Angeles to perform at Sirius XM Satellite New Artist Showcase.
Okay, congratulations on that.
Yeah, so that's the next thing for the month of February. I got a couple of other things I'm working on as well, but yeah, that's what's coming up directly, next month. So people need to be on the lookout. Oh, I forgot. 2 magazine articles that are coming as well. One for Voyage ATL magazine, and one for, I forgot the name of the other one, but it's another magazine as well that I got the opportunity to be a part of.
Okay.
So I'll be posting links and stuff like that. I just want everybody to kind of, just tap in with me, read up on me, figure, follow me, see what's going on, show love. That's pretty much it.
Pretty much just really. I know you mentioned about your podcast. How can people catch your podcast?
Oh, you catch podcasts. We go live Wednesdays on Facebook. It's Off the Rock Podcast. That's Off the Rock Podcast. We on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, iHeart, things like that. And you also can catch us on Inspire You on Air Radio. That's every first and third Sundays of each month at 10 p.m. And we also have a YouTube page at Off the Rock Pod. And those are the places that you can catch us, tap in with us.
Man, that's what's up right there. I know we're pressing for time. So do you have any final remarks for those that's going to listen? Because we know this is going up on our YouTube channel, Walking This Ways Impact Voice. So I encourage everybody to like and subscribe to our YouTube channel. So any final remarks for those that's going to tune in now and in the near future?
I guess my final remarks going to be on the lookout for I'm True. Let's be on the lookout. I got a lot of other stuff. I got a lot of things that I'm working on. This year, I won't. Every year got to be bigger than the last. So I want to make sure that I'm not in the same spot. Come around this time next year. So for other artists, I want you to encourage other artists, anybody listening. If it's a business, if it's a podcast, if you're a chef. If you're anything, to have that same mindset. Every day is another day for you to make it better.
Awesome. And you heard it here first, ladies and gentlemen. TRU, I thank you, sir, for taking time out your busy schedule to hang out with me. You're never a stranger, of course. And just want to encourage everybody, man. Y'all keep doing great things. Be great. Be iconic. Be a better version of yourself from this day forth. I'm your host, Ferman Jackson Jr. I'm signing off. See you next Tuesday, Lord willing, here on Walking This Ways Impact Voice Podcast, broadcasting live from Arlington, Texas, Dallas, Texas, Fort Worth, Texas, and all surrounding areas. Also, big shout out to my hometown of Mobile, Alabama. Of course, they call it the Mob Town as well. So big shouts out to everybody back at home. Till then, man, y'all remember, be great, be iconic, be a better version of yourself. See you next time. Peace, everybody.